Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. We're here for another stream, another day. Daniel, welcome. Um, it's Nets Heat. We are currently sitting at 6-5. Um, we've got a decent run of games coming up. Apologies. Um, Yeah. So today is the Heat. Then we've got Philly. The Heat. We play them again in about a week's time, so that's going to be interesting. But a pretty good, intriguing contest today because the last time the Heat lost, it was against Brooklyn. On November 1. So 2 weeks. Where the Heat have gone without a loss. So that's pretty exciting for them. But I do believe we are probably the team that can knock them off. We have won 5 in a row against Miami. A good win the other day against Orlando. They were the second ranked defense. That was until the Nets dropped 124 points on them and absolutely embarrassed them in the second half. We outscored them quite considerably in the final, probably 15 or so minutes. And that was on the back of Nic Claxton being a player on the Brooklyn Nets. This guy is the anchor of our defense. His rim deterrence meant Magic players were forced into passes more often. And JV said pre-game that is going to be imperative for the Nets in terms of returning to a good defensive team because they've started very slowly in that department. Being able to force turnovers in the open floor because of Nic Claxton's presence, and that knack to force a pass rather than players being able to get shots up without him in the lineup. That's going to cause a lot more opportunities for fast break opportunities. With Ben Simmons out of the team, especially when you can't really push the pace, you don't have one of those players that can push the pace at an elite level. So I found that really interesting in the pre-game quotes last game. And obviously we executed that very well with Claxton in the team. He barely played in the first half because he was in foul trouble. But the minute he got a good run at it, the team really performed in that second half. He scored. He had a presence in the defensive department, got a couple blocks. We ended up getting probably, I think it was the most steals in a game this season, most fast break points in a game this season. 3-pointers were well and truly up. We scored 19 3-pointers on a very good efficiency. I think it was about 48%. So that's always going to help you and put you in good stead. But yeah, I'm really excited for this one because obviously the Miami Heat have had a good run of fixtures which have really tested them. But yeah, the last time they lost was against us. And obviously that was a really good game as well. That was only a 2-point margin. If you have just rocked up to the stream, make sure to say hello in the chat, because that's obviously always important, because I strive to ensure that the community is nice and homely. So if you want to say hello to the other people in chat and to me, well, then go ahead. Because, yeah, that's always important. I have no idea why the stream keeps stopping every single time I exit out of the window. That's not going to be very problematic, is it? And I was saying that sarcastically. Spencer Dinwiddie was really, really good last time out. He had 29 points. He had 6 assists. And he was the focal point of the offense, which is a little bit unheard of, especially when you have Mikal Bridges and you have Cam Johnson in the lineup. But he was the leading man, and he's got to do that when Ben Simmons is out. As the lead facilitator, he's going to... Well, the responsibility first and foremost is looking after the basketball. He did an exceptional job of that. He only had 1 turnover. In the first half against Orlando, we were prone to turning it over, but it was a good thing that we, got a grasp of those turnovers and did what we could control, and that was stopping those turnovers. and Spencer Dinwiddie leading the way, and he scored four of his 4 3-pointers in the second half after a very, very slow start. That was very important, to keep the scoreboard ticking. Amy, welcome to the stream. As always, you're a regular. Thanks for tuning in. As is the same for every other person that tunes in on the regular. Thank you. But Spencer Dinwiddie's his quality. I think the really telling thing though is we're 6 and 5. Also you can see the lineups there for us and for the Heat. They're missing Tyler Hero, who did play for them last time. In this one, they've got Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, Hayward Highsmith, Bam and Jimmy. Of course, they had to make it difficult by making it a landscape presentation of the starting 5. So that's why you probably can't really see anything. I think the really intriguing thing about this season, we're 6 and 5, but these are the combinations, or a few key combinations for the Nets. Cam Thomas and Claxton have played one game together. Ben Simmons and Cam Johnson have played one game together. Cam Thomas and Cam Johnson have played one game together. And Ben Simmons and Nic Claxton have played one game together. The only game was opening night, when everyone was available. So yeah, that's another telling thing about how deep our team is and how cohesive they are, and how we've got a number of players fit to fill the void in a number of key areas. Ben Simmons and Cam Thomas, the 2 players out tonight again. Couple other stats. Offensive rating, we're 7th in the league, which was unprecedented going into the season. And we're 15th defensively, which is a bit odd. We do have a decent net rating. We're in the positive. We're 13th. So that's not awful. I suspect we're going to miss Ben's defense today. Well, we saw how much of an anchor your boy Nic Claxton was in that first game of the year. Hold on a second. Okay, so that probably disconnected for a split second there. We saw how much of an anchor Claxton is and how important he is to this defensive unit. So I don't think we're going to miss him one bit. But obviously I could be mistaken. Difficult assignment today with Bam Adebayo. Obviously going to be the direct matchup for Clax. So he's got his work cut out for him. But last time we played this team, we did a pretty good job against them. Also, I have some new drip. And it is a part of the crossover collection at Net Store. I'll stand up for you. You can see Nets World. Let's go. And it's really, I love this. I love the art. And really high quality. So that's what you would expect if you spend a fair bit. So, quality. Hopefully we can make up for it with good offense. Hopefully. This is, as I said, a really intriguing game. I don't think Jimmy Butler has really lived up to the hype. He's quietly performing, but he's not. It's a really weird season for Jimmy Butler. Regular season Jimmy Butler is very much an enigma. So yeah. But excuse me. I just want to see the stats of this guy, because I don't think he's having a very eye-catching season. He's averaging 26 boards, 4 assists, and a steal and a half. So he's been pretty good. But it's nothing too eye-catching. Cookie, welcome to the stream as well. Forgot to mention you. Those who have just tuned in, awesome to see you all. 16 people in for pregame, which is pretty strong numbers as of the moment. Why does it keep doing that? I'm going to refresh before the game starts, of course. If you have any questions about the starting lineups or anything, pre-game quotes, why did I just change to the starting soon screen? That's just absolutely excellent form by me. Let us know, and I will be able to give you the details on that. Potentially, I can't guarantee it, but I'll do a damn good job of trying. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. ladies and gents, put your predictions as well in the poll. I can see 75% of you are saying yes, sir. JB does what he needs to do. Yeah, I don't think he gets too appreciated for it, to be honest. Thomas, welcome to the stream as well. Hope you're doing excellent. And Poddy as well. Hey, mate. This will be a good litmus test. I love that word. Litmus test. Today is the Heat are on a 6-game winning streak. As I've said, the Heat, the last team they lost to was us. All the way back on November the 1st. I can't even speak. So basically a day after Halloween was the last time they lost against us. So we are the bogey side for the Heat. They have lost their last 5 games against the Nets. So, yeah, pretty staggering numbers. Come to think of it, what is the starting lineup? Same as the other day. So it will be a lineup of your boy, your boys, Finney Smith, Mikal, Clax, Dinwiddie, Bridges, Johnson, Finney Smith, Claxton. So the OG 5 from this, last year's lineup. So overall, I mean, we had a really good game the other day with 3 players in, 20 points or more. 6 players in double figures, 13 steals, 31 fast break points, I think 27 points off turnovers, which are insane numbers. Do I think we're going to do that again? Maybe. I don't know. This is going to be a good test because the Heat, I mean, they're missing Hero, but obviously 2 other capable players on that list. So I don't know if Jimmy Butler played the last time we versed them. I think they did. Anyway, why does the taskbar have to be on the bottom? Seriously, that's going to do my head in. So the Heat are playing in their City Edition uniforms, which are the most basic uniforms I've ever seen that say Heat culture on them. Very lazy. The Nets are wearing their white away strip. And here we go. In front of a very, very poor crowd. I mean, the Heat regular season crowds do not hit. Anyway. Game underway, and the Nets won the tip. And Dinwiddie's going to get us into an offensive set and throw it out of bounds. So it took a grand total of 11 seconds for us to get our first turnover. So I must have put a curse on Spence because he had 1 turnover the whole of the game against Orlando and he's already got 1 in 11 seconds. So I don't think he's going to... I think he's going to play a little bit worse, to say the least, in that regard. Bam is going to face up Claxton and shoot from the elbow and be long on that attempt. So first shot, first miss of the game. Johnson to Dinwiddie on the wing. And he's going to drive down the middle. Highsmith picks him up. Dinwiddie into the paint. No room to shoot it, so he rolls it back out to Johnson. And the high screen's not going to be used. Johnson puts the ball on the floor. Finney Smith, the drive. Blocked by Butler. And we have a shot clock violation. So in 1 minute, 2 turnovers. And one of those is probably more down to the Heat. The other is down to the depression of our offense, if that even makes any sense. Anyway, so both teams yet to score. Butler on the wing. He's picked up by Finney Smith. Unsurprisingly, the step back 3 is off, and it is Bridges with the rebound, who will push the pace, and the high screen will be set by Johnson. So a switch. Johnson was open for a moment, but a good rollover by Lowry. The drive by Johnson. The flip is off. The rebound by Bam. And in transition, Lowry, the Euro. He blows the layup and a rebound for the Nets. It's a 5-on-4 momentarily as Lowry has to make up a little bit more ground than most, but he gets back and the Nets will have to play 5-on-5. Good cut by Bridges. The Euro was quality and he scores the first basket of the game. That was classy. Classy move. Lowry the kick out. Robinson the 3 and it's off. Long rebound Butler. So the amount of rebounds we've given away because of how bad the misses have been and how far the rebounds needed to be, that's a foul on Johnson. who's hit the deck, and Jimmy Butler drew it, so it's going to be a free throw. Yeah, Johnson just got caught in the line of fire there and just got absolutely bowled over. So 2 free throws coming up for Jimmy, and yeah, that's really the situation for the moment. Need to get the chat up so I can see what you guys are doing. If you're talking shit, if you're talking quality. I'm sure you're not talking shit. Alrighty. Free throw 1 is good for Butler. And the Heat are now on the board. How was that considered a shooting foul? That's my question. I was also looking at buying that shirt. It's a quality shirt. It's a quality shirt. It's actually much thicker than a lot of materials I've worn. Okay. So the Nets, after Butler converted both at the free throw line, it'll be Dinwiddie on the drive, the scoop, and he is fouled. He was hit on the arm by Highsmith, and it was a bit of a late whistle, but it is going to be 2 free throws coming up for Spencer Dinwiddie, so I'm liking the assertiveness nice and early in this one. Put the head down. He did get a little bit of jumper on Highsmith, so you could have said there was an offensive foul involved in that sequence, but it's not going to matter. Dinwiddie cannot make free throws, man. Another miss to his name. And the second free throw is good. So he splits the pair. And it is a 3-2 lead for the Nets in the first 2.5 minutes of this game. The Heat have not made a field goal thus far. Butler looking to change that. Doesn't shoot the midi. Lowry drives and kicks it out to Robinson. It's a good defensive sequence. We're going to live with that. A deep Butler 3 is well short. And a rebound for Bridges. So he will get into offense nice and early. He's picked up by Kyle Lowry. Claxton at the elbow will give it to Johnson. A good hard screen by Clax. He's going to roll, but he lost the ball. And the Heat the other way. Bam is held up. He'll shoot the midi, and he misdirects it to the right. But Butler with the offensive board, and they go again. Bam, the pump fake. The shot, that's also off. And a rebound by Claxton. So they cannot buy a bucket in the early going. But the Nets can't look after the basketball in the early going. The Heat are 0 of 7. We are 1 of 3. Claxton, alley-oop feed by Spencer Dinwiddie. And Claxton's on the board. So, Lowry to the corner for Robinson. Had Johnson in the air. Good ball fake. The 3 is good. And the Heat tie things at 5 apiece, despite having missed their first 7 shots. How much was the shirt in Aussie dollars? I don't remember, but the shipping prices were absolutely ridiculous. Nearly had me considering not buying them. Bridges, skip past to Finney Smith. Opposite corner. It is good. And Doe was just ready to fire on that possession. There's a 3 by Highsmith. That one is off. And the Nets will go again up 8-5. And we already have a substitution ready to check in. I think it's Dayron Sharp by the looks. Dinwiddie's fouled again by Highsmith. And that is already 2 personals on him in the early going. So, Spencer Dinwiddie causing a few issues for the Miami Heat at this stage. Highsmith picking him up. He's looking a little bit troubled. Claxton to the bench nice and early. So we're getting some early Dayron minutes. And the first free throw is good. Not really sure why he's... Like, JV, I understand is testing the rotation, but this is a little bit puzzling. I'm not really sure why he's choosing to do this. Dinwiddie makes both at the line, so he improves on his first trip. The Nets have had 4 free throw attempts early on. It's 10-5. And the Heat will get going with another offensive possession through Robinson. They're looking for Butler in the corner. He gets it there. Robinson, a bit of movement. He shoots, and he is off. Rebound, Dayron Sharp. So, Dinwiddie picks up his dribble at the three-point line. Sharp, the handoff to Johnson, the quick trigger, that is well off. It's a rebound for Jimmy Butler, and man, the Heat have really got to start scoring the ball because they have really, really struggled and are probably, well, very lucky to not be down by more. Robinson falling out of bounds was fouled by Johnson. I don't really see where the foul was there. That was a very subtle body bump. It's going to be Heat ball on the side. And Johnson will go to the bench on his second personal. So 2 fouls that probably didn't have, well, were either avoidable or didn't really have much doing for it. Bam needs help. They got 6 to shoot. Lowry will get into the paint. Dayron, good contest. Lowry got his own miss. And once again, it's just the ricochet off the rim is really favoring the Heat at the moment. Bam in the mid-range, that's good. And, well, sooner rather than later, they're going to start punishing with all those offensive rebounds they're getting at this stage. Bridges to the corner for O'Neal. Bridges gets it back and shoots the 3. That's a foul, and Lowry, I think, went into the landing space. So it will be 3 shots for Mikal Bridges. And it also will be a timeout. So pretty decent start for the Nets if you're looking at it from a defensive standpoint. Offensively, both teams have sort of found things a little bit difficult to navigate, but I'd rather have the lead than the deficit. So, yeah. The Nets have started pretty well. Cam Johnson is my man that I'm putting into the spotlight today, so hopefully he performs. He had a good game last game, so that needs to be the standard. 3 of 6 are the Nets at the moment. The Heat, they're 2 of 12, and so we've given away 3 offensive rebounds already, yet we out-rebound them because of all those misses they've had. They've started this one really poorly, so the fact we're only down by, or we're only up by 3 is a little bit of a dampener, but you know what, I'm not too fussed thus far. I think the defense is pretty good, though. Pretty good. I mean, 2 of 12. That's never something you would be too happy about as an offensive, or looking at things from an offensive standpoint. The Nets have been pretty up to the task at the moment. I don't really know why we bench Clax this early. That's a little bit puzzling, but obviously we want to stagger the minutes a little bit. I guess we want to run some minutes with that bench lineup. Or when Miami's bench are in, we want to play the likes of Claxton and Cam Johnson and see how that really works. So I don't mind the staggering of minutes. If we have Lonnie Walker playing off the bench with Cam Johnson and Claxton and just letting that team cook, against the opponent's bench, then I think we're going to be in a quite good position. Better shape this game. Yeah, I mean, last game we were in good shape out of the gates as well. So it's been a pretty good start by this team. Pretty solid start. I'm not really sure what the rotation's going to look like tonight. Probably very similar to the previous game. We had Walker, Sharp, DSJ and Royce, the 4 off the bench. I mean, I'm so adamant on these Watford. They looked at this for a flagrant. It wasn't, so. Gee, that was halfway down as well. We've just returned from the timeout. It is 10-7. The Heat have really struggled in the early going, in case you've missed it. Welcome to the stream, those who have just rocked up. Bridges makes the first. If you are enjoying the stream thus far, make sure to drop a like on it as well. And if you are new, subscribe. We're going to be back next week for Nets Philly. That is the next game up, as you can see in the top right-hand corner of your screen. hopefully I actually wake up early enough this time, because at the start of the week when we played a 7 a.m. over here and a 3 p.m. if you're in the US, I woke up at 10 past 7, so the game had basically already started, so I was scrambling, and I was also half asleep, and then the computer took about 15 years to wake up, so yeah, that is, well, hopefully we improve on that this time round. Butler to Bam at the elbow after Mikal made every one of his 3 free throws. Bam, as the shot clock winds down, he knocks it down. I don't understand why he's taken Claxton off, because Bam had missed his first couple of shots with Clax as the assignment. Like, that is really puzzling to me. Mikal is going to drive. Fadeaway 2 is good on the baseline. And as we exceed the halfway point of the first quarter, the Heat are still in single figures on the back of a pretty poor performance offensively. Highsmith cut to the basket but was held up. He's going to bounce past it to Bam, who is doubled. Dayron there with the assistance. Highsmith will shoot the 3, and that is off. You live with that every single day of the week. So the Heat are missing Hero today. That is a big loss. He was cooking us last time out. Finney-Smith in the corner, back to Dinwiddie with 11 to shoot. The high screen will arrive. Finney-Smith, the cutter is Bridges. He lost the ball. Dayron still ended up with it, and Dinwiddie for 3, the heave. It's off, and a rebound by Lowry. So good defensive possession by Lowry in the Heat. Bam got a shot up, and there was a foul in there by Royce O'Neal. So it's going to be a couple of shots coming up. So 5 minutes to play in this first quarter. That's good defense by O'Neal. That's pretty good defense. I would say that's a foul, but I think he did a very good job there to contain him as much as possible. So, for once in my life, I'm actually showing O'Neal a bit of love. Bam at the free throw line. He's been on a tear the last 4 or 5 games. Watford minutes! Yes! Watford minutes. We love to see it. Watford will be playing... Well, the first game he played in the regular season was against Miami, and he absolutely put them to the sword in limited action. So I'm really happy about that introduction. The Heat make both at the free throw line, and Watford is the facilitator, so maybe this is a sign of no DSJ minutes. Dinwiddie looking for Sharp at the top of the key, trying to create a bit of space on Bam with the body bump. O'Neal puts the ball on the floor. Watford, dunk! Nice cut to the rim. And we also had Dayron there. The dump pass was necessary, but it didn't matter. Jaquez is in for the Heat. Bro, O'Neal's got to be bloody careful. Butler's doing backdoor cuts, and he doesn't look very alert. Bam's going to back down Sharp, and we had a 3-second call on Trenton Watford, who had probably a toe inside the line, but they were well and truly alert the referees. That's how we're going to breach their zone. A lot of movement that keeps the defense guessing. Butler is good on the free throw attempt. If you are new around here, make sure to let us know. Because obviously I'm pretty... well, I'm looking at the chat, so... If you want to introduce yourself, please go ahead. Lowry's going to shoot a 3. That's a bit audacious, but he knocks it down anyway. So the Heat cut the lead to 2. And as well as the Nets have played on defense, offensively, not getting the separation we probably need. That's a good defensive possession by Jaquez until the actual shot. Mikal got hit in the face. It's going to be 2 more free throws. This is actually an incredibly good sign for the Brooklyn Nets, because we don't really have a knack of getting to the free throw line. There was a stretch of games where we didn't have, well, we didn't really have the, what's the word? Bridges misses the first, by the way. we didn't really have a good knack of getting to the free throw line. What is Dennis doing in the game before Lonnie Walker? I don't understand this. Is Lonnie Walker not playing? Because for Watford to be playing and Dennis to also be playing, that is an indicator that your boy isn't playing, Lonnie Walker. Mikal makes the second. So we're in the final 4 minutes of the first quarter. Dennis is in, Claxton is back in. And now Watford is guarding Butler. That's a good spin move. And Butler is able to get it over the top and in. So, oh my God, Dennis. Dennis and Royce are about to be the death of me, honestly. O'Neal picks up his dribble and nearly turned it over. Got it to Dennis. I'm not a fan of this lineup at the moment. Clax puts the ball on the floor and gets the hook shot. So, bit of point center ability there by Claxton. Lowry to the perimeter for J. Rich. And that was a smooth shooting stroke. It's 20 apiece. And we are pushing the back end of this first quarter. So, I can't really get a gauge on who has actually been the better side here, because I feel like we've been the better team, but we're not even winning. Corner 3 for Bridges is open, and that was opened up by DSJ. It was a nice find on the baseline drive, after the baseline drive. Butler in the corner now, with the Nets leading by 3 in the final 3 minutes of the first quarter. The switch sees Claxton picking him up. Good defense, Claxton, and he brings him to the floor and forces the jump ball. That's great physicality by Claxton. Didn't get that same treatment that Watford did on the previous possession, where he got bullied under the basket and Butler was able to score nice and easily. That time, there was absolutely no ease about it, and Claxton with the stop, and it will be a timeout, I believe, in the favor of the Miami Heat. So, Claxton, there you go. Just another little piece of work that really embodies what he does for this team on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, it's like, the sample size is so clear. I don't know why people have questioned it at all. So, the Nets currently up 3, shooting the ball very well. 2 turnovers as well, looked after the ball. We've gotten to the free throw line 9 times already in this first quarter, and it's been Bridges and Dinwiddie who have gotten there. So, pretty good. But the problem is the Heat. They've already had 6 extra shots. They've hit an extra 3 because they've taken 5 more, and they've also gotten to the free throw line. So the keys of the game is the fact that we have not forced a turnover yet, and they've also gotten a few offensive rebounds, so there's been a chance for recycling. Bam is leading the way scoring-wise for them with 6, and Jimmy Butler's got 5. So I would I expect those 2 players to really be shouldering the load for this team today with Tyler Hero out. I hope the Nets win. You think they can? Well, the Heat are on a 6-game win streak, but as I've alluded to multiple times in this stream thus far, the last time the Nets or the Heat lost was against Brooklyn 7 games ago. So it's a very intriguing game, this one. Very, very intriguing game. Nic Claxton for Defensive Player of the Year. He should have gotten it last year. He really shouldn't. Well, he should have at least been one of the nominees, and he wasn't even a nominee, so he got really hard done by. As soon as the Nets became small market again, that was it. I need to see what's going on with Lonnie Walker. I may see right now if he's into the game or not. I don't really see anything that's indicating this at the moment. But yeah, I'm a full advocate for Claxton as depoy. It's the 5 on the floor, DSJ, who's actually been the best guard in terms of like the field goal percentage he's allowed. It's like a 32%. Claxton v Butler in a jump ball, and Claxton, unsurprisingly, wins it. Royce gets it ahead to Walker, who got ahead of the defense and was able to get the angle and score. So, catching the Miami Heat defense off guard, and obviously the fast break points, we fully capitalized with this athletic lineup. So, we've got plenty of lob threats, plenty of guys that can dunk. Obviously, much harder to defend. They've got 3 to shoot, and Butler's going to have to put up a 3, and he knocks it down. You know what? I can live with that because I don't back Butler from the outside. I don't think he shoots the ball too effectively from out there. I think the stats would suggest exactly that. Watford on the drive, and he misses the flip. The rebound for the Heat, and they can tie or take the lead. It's Robinson who gets by O'Neal. Extra for Butler. And we have a foul under the basket, and there was absolutely no reason for a foul in there because we had 4 or 5 numbers collapse. And, yeah, that's pretty poor. But if we go back to the previous possession or a couple plays ago where Walker was able to flip that one up and in from the jump ball, there had to have been a bit of discussion in the timeout for that to occur. Love for 3, that's off. Long rebound by Dennis Smith Jr. And he is going to slow things down, I would suggest. Please don't fucking drive it. He is. And he doesn't get the angle on Robinson. And we're going to get a foul. So that is just so stupid by DSJ because it was one-man offense with him involved. I can recognize that he was attacking Robinson, who isn't very good of a defender. But that being said, to commit a foul on the rebound attempt when you're very clearly not going to get it is pretty, I mean, it's just outright stupid. So, free throws coming up for Kevin Love, who was, well, he was out for a bit of time, but he's back in the lineup now for the Heat, and he scores the first free throw there. So, as I said, this is a weird first quarter. Really weird first quarter because, you know, like, I feel like we're being the better side. But it's just like the Heat have had a lot of offensive rebounds. And we've turned the ball over a bit. And we've also bailed them out on quite a few occasions when their offense doesn't look all that convincing. Walker's going to drive on Jaquez and roll it back out now to O'Neal. Claxton fakes the handoff. Give it to O'Neal now. Good screen set by Clax. O'Neal. The push shot is good, and I'm pretty sure he has an awful... Well, he's got awful percentages on the interior, so... For him to knock down a push shot like that is pretty unprecedented. Once again, another rebound for the Heat because it went long. That's a good cut by Love. Extra feed for Bam. It's an open look for Robinson, and that's good. So, Duncan is on a flamethrower right now, or he is the flamethrower. He's on fire. Claxton picks up his dribble and rolls it back out to Walker. So we're trailing for the first time tonight. Walker's going to drive on Jay Rich. Kick out to Watford in the corner. Walker relocates, shoots the midi, and misses. So a good stop by the Heat. We, in essence, actually executed the 2-for-1. Oh, come on. That is a rubbish foul. Again, the foul's on Claxton, I believe, under the basket, and Robinson's going to go to the line. That is an absolutely rubbish call. And that's 100% not the bias kicking in. Or is it on O'Neal? No, it's on Claxton. Bro, he's holding the jumper. You can see it. Oh, that is a joke. So, free throws for Robinson. The first one is good. And Caleb Martin's also checked in, who wasn't playing in the previous game when we came up against the Heat. Of course, he's playing his season debut against us. That just sounds pretty on brand. Nearly every single player we come up against, I swear there's always someone that like has a cracking game against us, or just decides to rock up for our game after being out for like 20. DSJ, we've got to help him out. Finney Smith is back in. I don't know what he's there for. Johnson's also returned. We're playing small ball. 7 to shoot and DSJ's got the ball. That can't be good. He's going to drive and take on Bam. How was that not a foul? That's ridiculous. That was clearly a foul. And DSJ is still on the ground. I think he's just in complete awe and disbelief as to how that wasn't a foul. I mean, if I had the replay software, I definitely would have a look. DSJ and Royce are astoundingly stupid players. Yeah, I can really get behind that. If you are enjoying the stream, you know what to do. Just make sure to drop a like on it and subscribe if you are new as well. We'll be back for Nets Philly in a few days' time. First quarter's done and dusted and in the books. We're not shooting the ball too badly. We haven't turned it over a ton. We've gotten to the free throw line. The problem is this. Well, first and foremost, got to show some love to Mikal Bridges because he is really standing up offensively. He's got 11 of our 27, so he's contributing in big ways. The issue is this. We've already given away 4 offensive rebounds to the Heat in this game. They've already hit 5 threes as well. They've taken 13. That's where the bulk of their shots have come from. And Duncan Robinson is leading the way alongside Jimmy Butler. They are both shooting 2 of 4 from the field, and they have both gotten to the free throw line for at least 1 trip. So those rebounds also have been really preventable. The bulk of their offensive rebounds have come from the fact that they've shot a 3. It's rebounded way over our heads because we're obviously suiting up for a pretty shallow rebound. And this has happened before as well. Like, we're forced misses on the perimeter, but it's going over our heads because it's hitting back iron and just rebounding like 15 meters away. So, yeah. And also the free throw number. I mean, that was putting us in good stead in the early going, but we've allowed them to even up that number. They're already at 9 free throws as well to go with our 9 free throws. So that advantage we had early on is well and truly diminished at this stage. So that is what we're dealing with. We need some contributions in the second quarter because we haven't really seen too much. Cam Johnson's on 2 fouls, so he hasn't seen much action at this current stage. But obviously a long way to go. We saw that last game where the Magic, well, looked to be in a pretty advantageous position, and then we well and truly shifted from first gear and put the foot on the gas, and well, we really found that separation. So in this second quarter, there's going to need to be a little bit more work done on the defensive end. 4 offensive rebounds to 0 means we will lose. As I said, I'm not putting the offensive rebounds down to us being sheerly inadequate. I think we just need to be prepared to get the longer rebounds because like it's happening far too often, especially when we're seeing the shot tendency for the Heat. They're jacking up threes like there's no tomorrow. They've already taken 13 of them. So there's got to be a little bit more recognition and awareness that those 3-pointers are potentially going to result in a longer rebound, and you've got to box out the Heat players further out and hold them accountable. Why are we not setting screens? We're constantly getting doubled on the perimeter. I think the screen is being set. It's just we're not being very effective with releasing the roller. I'm not really sure what's going on here because there's a bit of discussion at the scorer's table, which is holding up the commencement to the second quarter. I don't know what the hell's going on. So we just got a stoppage for no reason, and it's probably being discussed on the Yes broadcast. I can't hear shit though, so yeah, that's something I guess I'm just gonna have to live with. Okay, we look like we're probably gonna resume. Okay, so second quarter is probably ready to go. I think I don't know what they're doing. They got torches out and they're fucking looking for something. Like, get your shit sorted, mate. Alrighty. So 30 to 27. I just combined 27 and second. As we start the second, Robinson, that's a good dime, and Jaquez with the 2. So, good dime by Robinson. He's actually been a really good part of their offense, and we just fucking turned it over. Who was that? I want to see the replay, because I feel like it's Royce. I don't want it to be. Robinson misses, get the rebound, DSJ does, and we push the pace. Down the middle, he nearly lost the ball. Johnson, extra pass to Walker for 3. It is good. He lines it up and he converts. So, I trust Lonnie with nearly my life. Nearly. Because of that tendency to knock down those open looks, which he should be knocking down. He never disappoints. So, Bam now, that's a good post move. Had Dayron in the air. Had Dayron in the air again, and he dunks it down. So, Dayron's got to be a little bit better. Royce. Walker. Open look. And he knocks it down again because the Heat try to go under the screen and there was no rotation. The seas parted for Lonnie Walker and he knocks down another 3. So 2 in a row. Now Dennis harassing Richardson. He forces him into a pass and Bam misses. Strong rebound by Lonnie. Slaps the ball. And we can potentially take the lead here. Well, we can. Walker's in his feels. He did not get fouled. The Nets will get it ahead, or the Heat will get it ahead. I just lost my voice. And Bam Adebayo was there for the easy two-handed throwdown. Jaquez with the feed, and that was well done there. You needed some in-game awareness to notice that pass was well and truly on. O'Neal to the wing for Johnson, and now Sharp will hand it back to Johnson. What is Royce doing? Apparently knocking down 3-pointers because he just hit one from about 5 feet behind the line. And it is now 36 apiece. So a good little fight back by the Nets in the last couple of minutes. Already 3-3-pointers in the quarter for the Nets. Martin, good response. Knocks down the corner 3. And, well, the offense is seeming to be a staple of the early portion of this second quarter. It is a 39-36 lead. Walker is going to pass to the corner for O'Neal. Give it back to Walker, who's now in a switch with Robinson. You have to attack this. Bam doubles. We've got 4 to shoot, and we haven't looked like scoring. Walker, as the shot clock expires, it's off. Dayron there for the board. Gets it up. Missed it. Got denied by the rim. And there is a foul under the basket, and Dayron was like, where the fuck is that call? How did it take so long? So, I believe it's free throws, but it could just as easily be on the floor because, well, it was so physical under the basket there. So, it's going to be a couple of shots. No, it's not. Johnson for 3. Oh, he scored a contested deep 3. Damn. So 39 apiece. Bam just lost the ball, and Dayron does well to wrestle, and it's going to be a jump ball. Dayron was ready to release Cam Johnson there because it well and truly wasn't in Bam's possession, but because they were in a tie-up, you have to call that as a jump ball. So the Heat could be saved here, but they're not going to have the benefit of a shot clock reset. It is going to be Dayron and Bam in the jump ball with 8:40 to play, 13 on the clock if the Heat win possession. And they do, and it's Robinson who will facilitate here. Bounce pass to Bam. Good find, and the reverse for Jay Rich. That was a little bit of a collapse defensively, and the Heat have the lead back. So a very closely contested game, this one. I think it's going to be another one that is a little bit of a heart stopper down the stretch. Walker doesn't get the bounce, and the Heat will push the pace, but they don't have the numbers, so they will hold things up until things even up there. Richardson the 3, and that is well and truly off. Good hustle by Martin, who falls into the first row, but the Nets will have a 5-on-4 because we ended up with it. Walker, back for Smith. Had an open three. That is well and truly off. And Richardson falling out of play nearly had his pass turned over because Johnson was there for the read. Unfortunately, it was deflected off hands out of play. So, Miami ball, 41-39. I think I'm pretty on the ball with my commentary today. I haven't really lost train of thought too many times, which seems to be a knack of mine. Jaquez, good wraparound. The block by Claxton, the minute he returns, has a defensive impact. Dennis to Finney-Smith. Claxton is in the post on Jaquez. This is one you have to exploit, but he's going to hand it off to Dennis, who drives. Claxton under the basket. He scores for 2, and he was fouled by Robinson. It's going to be a free throw, and DSJ with the find. Ugh. That was a little bit nasty. Claxton just... This is the power of Clax. This is the power of Clax. Man just has an aura about him. Oh, mate. Look at this guy go. And the free throw is good. I don't think he's missed a free throw this season, which is a really good sign of improvement. The free throw stroke looks a lot better. Robinson the drive. Claxton the contest. He forced the miss. And that is another foul. This time it's going to be on, I don't know who, but Bam's going to the line. And that was Claxton again. Cam Johnson's been hit with the foul again. That's going to be number 3. So he cannot stay on the floor in this game. Second consecutive game, we have had a player in foul trouble. That's played in our starting lineup. So that's going to be a little bit problematic, but it's not like we don't have enough wings. I mean, we've got basically a bunch of wings that the entire league are envious of. Damn, Cam Johnson, the one that he actually knocked out of play, was not off Cam Johnson. 42 apiece. This one has been really close. Apart from that start where we had a bit of separation because the Heat couldn't buy a bucket, it's been close every step of the way. So Dinwiddie's going to bring it in, and we get it to Mikal, who's also returned. So we're basically playing our 5 that we started the game with. We are. Bridges, the 2, that's off. Rebound Finney-Smith. Rolls it out to Johnson, and we'll go again. No, he won't. Dinwiddie will shoot a 3, and he knocks it down on the catch. Top of the key. So, well worked by the Nets. I believe that's our first offensive rebound of the game, and with that, a bunch of second chance points to go with. Good defense by CJ, denying the pass to Robinson, and there was a travel. So, that's incredibly good work by the on-ball defender, who I believe was Dinwiddie. And then also Duncan Robinson, who was denied the pass by Cam Johnson. So CJ coming in really clutch there. A timeout was called, so maybe there was a timeout in there. I have no idea. But it's time for a box score check, ladies and gents. If you are enjoying the stream, you know what to do. Make sure to drop a like and support the show by subscribing as well. We're on the road to 2K. And I obviously want as many Nets supporters and other supporters in the chat as possible for all the games I do this season. So that'd be much appreciated because I think this stream is one of the best watch-alongs going around. And I'm not saying that in an arrogant way. This is the situation, box score-wise, for the Brooklyn Nets. We are seeing some contributions now from the bench. And also from the starters. Claxton has had 7 points, 3 boards, hasn't missed, scored his only free throw. He's had a steal and a block. He has been nothing but a plus. And Cam Johnson has scored and done a bit of facilitation as well. He's got only the 3 points, but he's got the same amount of assists as points in this one. So that is a really positive sign. The team high plus 10. And Dorian Finney-Smith as well has knocked down his only open 3-pointer. So pretty good stuff. Watford played the 5 first quarter minutes, but we haven't seen much more. Dennis has played more minutes than Lonnie Walker, which I'm not really sure what is the motive behind that. But overall, you can see everything is going right in the offensive department for the Nets. Shooting the ball above 50%, shooting lights out from 3, gotten to the free throw line a fair bit, gotten a few offensive boards in this quarter, and we haven't really turned the ball over, which is all positive things. But we look at the Heat, they've only actually had 2 extra shots, and that's probably where our leaders returned, because we've started to force the turnovers. They did not have a turnover in the first quarter. They're not shooting the ball as well as us, and we've evened up the ledger, so we're only down in the rebound department by 1. They still have the 6 offensive boards, though, which is a problem, but the free throws have well and truly toned down in this second quarter after they started the game with 9 in the first quarter. So you can see Bam's got 12, Butler's got 8, Robinson's got 8, so Robinson's going to be the guy that fills the void without Tyler Hero. He's done a pretty good job of it thus far because they've won 6 in a row. And Hero's been out for a fair portion of those games. So, yeah. Alrighty. Every time we play in Miami, we're quality. We won a close game against Miami this year. We won a close game against Miami against them last year away. Pretty good. Okay. Alrighty. So play resumes. The Nets will have the ball after they force the turnover with the travel call on Richardson. Johnson out of the timeout. It's off. Bridges the offensive board, and the reverse is good. So it was a pretty good play call. And even though there was the miss, good activity and another offensive rebound, which is something we lacked in the first quarter. So we're recycling those misses now. Oh, you're kidding me. 4 personals on Johnson at the 6-minute mark of the second quarter. And that is an absolute milking. Okay, well, play's going to resume and Johnson's going to... No, he's in. Wait, why are they playing him with 4 fouls? Butler's going to back down Bridges. Oh, you're kidding me. What is he supposed to do? They've called a foul on that. I'm not really sure what he's supposed to do. Let's have a look. You're kidding me. You are kidding me. The arm is straight up. And I'd argue that that is where they've adjudicated the foul. That is a joke of a call. And look, I don't know a ton about basketball in terms of the way the game's officiated, but that didn't look like a foul. Such marginal contact. And we've done a really good job of keeping him off the line for the most part in this quarter, but that was just soft. How has that been deemed a foul? There's some things you can't control. Dinwiddie picks up his dribble. Bridges on the wing. Claxton. Looking for the handoff. Finney-Smith down the middle. And that's going to be a charge. Yep. Well played by Kevin Love. There's some things you can appreciate as an opposing supporter, and that is one of them when a player puts their body on the line. And Kevin Love right there had the feet planted, and Dorian Finney-Smith just bowled him over on that layup attempt. So the Heat can retake the lead with a couple of stops here. Or with a couple of stops in the last couple possessions. Love to Jaquez in the post. Out to Lowry and out of the corner for Butler, who's got Finney-Smith guarding him. This is a better matchup. Jaquez is dead to shoot, and he's off on the 3. A rebound for Johnson. Claxton's rim running, but we pass it cross court to Dinwiddie. And now Johnson will wait, and he'll give it to Claxton, who's going to hand it off. Nope, he's going to fake the handoff. He's going to drive it and scoop it up and in off the window. And with 30,000-year-old Kevin Love picking you up, I think you can beat him for pace. Butler on Bridges again. I don't like this matchup. I want the physicality of Finney Smith on him. And there is Finney Smith coming to help. Force the blitz and the double force the pass. Butler out to Lowry. They got 2 to shoot. And it's going to be a mid-range by Lowry, which is off. And a good rebound by Spencer Dinwiddie. So another great defensive stop by the Nets. And it was Dorian Finney-Smith coming up clutch in that one. Doe on the perimeter. He'll give it to Dinwiddie in the corner. Picked up by Highsmith. And now the screen is set. Dinwiddie, alley-oop. Claxton, the finish. +1. Oh, don't do it to him. So crafty. The acrobatics. Well, it wasn't really acrobatic. It was just the soft touch. What an escort. Oh. I would prefer that there is no spam in the chat, by the way. It's 52-46. Claxton's been quality. 4 minutes to play. Second quarter. Butler. Baseline drive is good. And it is 52-48. Pass to Johnson now. He's going to find Clax. Heat with the zone scheme. Oh my God, that is another foul on Johnson. Is that 5? He's just gone straight into Love. That is another good charge call. Absolutely nothing you can argue. That is, okay, that's 4 personals on CJ. So they've played him with 3 fouls. Very bold call by JV, and that means Royce O'Neal is going to get the bulk of minutes. I would potentially argue he's going to start the second half with CJ in foul trouble. The Heat with a good stop, and now Butler going to back down Finney Smith. That's great defense, and he forces the miss, but Love with the putback too. Where is the box out? Again. It's infuriating when it's so preventable, those ones. Claxton the roll. Back out to Bridges on the catch. It's off. It was a bit short. It was well lined up. But the Heat, nonetheless, can take the lead. Butler gonna back down Bridges. The double arrives. Good passing by the Heat. Huckers in the corner. It's off. And Claxton does well to fight on the rebound. It's gonna be a timeout. And the Nets lead by 2. Claxton, 1 possession for the Nets on that rebound. So 2 minutes 50 or so to play in the first half. It's been a solid shift. Okay. If you are enjoying, you know what to do. Make sure to drop a like on it and subscribe as well if you're new. As much support as we can get is appreciated. And there is a donation button if you're feeling super generous today. But you aren't obligated to do so. We will look at the box score now. Cam Johnson is on 5 fouls, so that is a bit problematic. But it's, as I said, not like we don't have enough wings to cover the loss. I mean, we've done so for a number of games now, so that doesn't really serve as a concern, except for the fact that CJ is number 1 for plus-minus today, so he's been a part of all the successful lineups. Turnovers have been pretty well held by the Nets. We've gotten 2 scorers in double figures. Claxton has been superb, hasn't missed, and Mikal Bridges has also been very efficient. Shooting the ball really well. Both are 50%. Been at the free throw line a bit, as I said. So I'm just really re-emphasizing what I said the last time we looked at the box score. The Heat, I mean, they're only down 2. You're seeing very similar contributions. You've got 2 players with 13 and 12 like the Nets. And then you've also got players, or one player with 8 points, which the Heat also have through Duncan Robinson. They aren't shooting the ball nearly as well as, we are. But it's those free throws that are really helping them out here in keeping them in touch with the Nets. And yeah, that's really what it comes down to. The offensive rebounds are really helping them as well. At halftime, we're going to look at all those team stats, see where the second chance points are coming from and such. So, of course, make sure to hang around for that. We aren't going anywhere at the halftime break. We're going to be talking more Nets. So, more Nets, a bit more Heat as well. This is a really good game of basketball, though. Very much blow for blow. Both teams going at it. Every time there's a Nets quality play, there's a response. It goes the other way. Claxton's been quality, man. He could have a 20-piece by the end of this one. All right, play resumes. How have 9 seconds just evaporated like that? Dayron's back in for the final 3 minutes of the quarter. I don't like this. O'Neal in the corner for 3. That is blocked, I believe, because there's no way O'Neal's just missed it that badly by himself. Then again, nothing's out of the question. Lowry's going to cook here. Dayron extra pass. Oh, wow. Highsmith is wide open, and that 3 is well off. Long rebound for Finney-Smith after Love back-tapped it, so it could have just as easily been another offensive board. Dayron rolls, puts the ball on the floor, gets one up, and that was a wild layup attempt. It's going the other way after it's deflected out of bounds. And Dayron, let's just say he doesn't have as deep a bag as Claxton does when it comes to handles. And that's obviously why the layup attempt was so rash by Dayron. Butler into the paint. Dayron knocks it away with the help defense. So pretty good activity there. O'Neal back to Dinwiddie, who's going to try drive it, but Jaquez remains with, and Dinwiddie shoots a deep 2. That is a very questionable shot. I don't know why you would want to shoot that at this stage of the quarter. We have not scored in 3 minutes, so a mid-range 2 is not what you want when you're trying to break a drought. Unless, of course, it's someone who's high percentage in that area. Butler will shoot the 3 and knock it down like it's shooting practice. And I would have to say that, as I said before, we can live with the Butler 3s, but there may be a stage where you actually have to pick him up from the perimeter. Sharp. Out to Finney-Smith. He took a dribble. He probably didn't need to. He's going to do a give and go. And then Love was there with the activity again, and the Euro by Highsmith was excellent. So Love is really just planting his feet in there. That is, bro, Spencer, what are you doing shooting 3s? Dayron's gonna, well, initially it was called that Dayron will be hit with the foul, but it's going to be Kevin Love on the box out who was latching onto Dayron's arm. So I don't really know how they came to that conclusion initially. There's about 37 seconds left in the quarter. Claxton back in. I don't know why we took him out, but it is what it is. Dinwiddie. 3. That has to be a foul, dude. Robinson for 3, that's in. 100%. You could see it as soon as he let it fly. So, look at that. You send Claxton to the bench, and the Heat go on a 12-0 run. Like, what was the point of that? Taking him off for 2 minutes. Oh, my God. Another turnover. That is great defense by the Heat. And that's just far too predictable. Far too predictable. A late quarter run by the Heat. 14-0 run has come on the back of just rubbish shot selection. And I have to say, like, we didn't see enough touches from Mikal or Claxton in those final minutes. As I said, I'm bewildered as to why he's taken your boy Claxton off. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. For 2 minutes, you took him off, and you just killed off the entire momentum that we had on the defensive side of the ball. A 14-0 run for the Heat. Like, it's just... Like, lineups like that are not going to work. The Dinwiddie 3, what are you even trying with that? I mean, we talked about how last game Spencer was jacking up threes, and then when they actually went down, you're just like, well, you might as well keep firing. But when they're not going down and they're low percentage, you haven't scored in 3 minutes, and the Heat are on a run, why would you shoot a 3 early in the shot clock? These are the kinds of things that really are the bane of my existence, but that's going to be the half right there. Let's just have a look. Refs never call fouls for us. That is something I will agree with, even though I'm not going to fully blame it. Like, that is just... Like, some of the calls have been ridiculous. The Nets look sluggish. It's not even that. It's just like... Just looking a bit switched off at the back end of that first half, and you're not playing the best team to close out the first half. I mean, I understand Cam Johnson not playing because Cam Johnson is out with those 4 fouls. Like, you can't play him at the back end of the first half and risk a 5th foul. So there's got to be major improvements going into the second half. We're down 8, and we don't deserve to be there because the separation has only been created on the back of this 14-0 run the Heat went on at the very end of the first half. This is the box score as it currently sits. And, well, for the Heat, they're getting some really good contributions. They're not shooting the ball super, super well, but they are from the three-point line. They're getting to the free throw line. They've recycled a bunch of possessions, and they've looked after the basketball. That's ultimately the key. In the second half, it's going to require a really concerted effort to fix up a number of areas for us. We need to keep them off the line. We need to start forcing more turnovers because 3 is not going to cut it. You're not going to win games of basketball if you can't, for a team that sucks on half-court offense most of the time, you need to be able to run and gun a lot. 3 turnovers is not optimizing that one bit whatsoever. If you look at the Nets, the shooting splits have gone down a bunch. We have missed, we started 7 of 12 from 3, and then all of a sudden we started jacking up a load of crap from the perimeter. And I'll use that analogy I used, and I'm going to rip it off again from one of the Premier League's finest watch-alongs. We're like cows on... We're like what it would... I'm not even going to say it. Sorry. No, I'll say it now. It's like a field of cows on laxatives. Absolute steaming piles of shit. That's what it is at the end of this first half. Like, those 3-pointers were exactly that. Like a field of cows on laxatives. Shit. We're not shooting the ball nearly as well as we were in that first quarter. It's just like some of the plays that have gotten run. I don't know why Watford has only played 5 minutes. Royce O'Neal is a -19, dude. And is that partially because of him? I'm not too sure, but he just seems to be with all the lineups that suck. The rebounds, 20 to 21, so it doesn't really tell the full story there, but we're not really getting outdone in too many areas. It's just 2 less field goals made, 1 less 3 made, 3 less free throws made, and we've also had 7 turnovers, and a lot of those have been unprovoked. Personal fouls only 11-9, so as much as we're saying Nets v refs, that is not the reason we're losing. Pretty baffling though. We conceded 30 points in that quarter. We didn't deserve to. It was a pretty decent defensive effort in that first half. You can see here really what the problem is. The fast break points, it's 9-5. So we've only had the 9 fast break points. The points off turnovers, only 4. Because we've only forced 3. And really that's it. Steal numbers, only the 2. Sorry, we've only had 6 points off turnovers to their 4. So we actually haven't been punished off turnover, but fast break points of 5. That is just, that's not going to cut it. Absolutely not going to cut it. Especially off the back of a game where we scored 124, and that was primarily because of fast break points, points off turnovers, steals that we were getting in the open court. So second half, there's just going to need to be an emphasis on that. Because it's just not, I think the back end of the first half, like, we could have been going into the halftime break and I would have been lauding this team. That 3-minute period has really killed the momentum we had. Claxton was playing a really good first half, and I don't know why he's benched him. He's played the least minutes of, any player in the starting 5. And, he's played the same amount of minutes as one player who is on 4 personal fouls. So where's the logic? The math isn't mathing. He should have been playing at least 16 minutes, if not 17 minutes. He's played a couple of games now. He's gotten a bit of match fitness under his belt. I don't know why he's not playing the full amount of minutes he can play. If he's going to play under 30 minutes in this game, that is just unacceptable. The Dayron minutes have got to be cut down in this game, as much as I love Dayron, and he's played some really good games, especially last game. The first half, he was quality. In this one, he's just getting absolutely torn to shreds. He's getting a couple offensive rebounds, but he's just not doing anything of note on the offensive side of the ball, and he's not doing enough game-changing work on the defensive side to really justify his selection in the team. So that's the deal. Heat always have time and space where you're rushed and throwing up threes off balance. They're just looking a bit more composed, really coping with the pressure. We're not providing enough of it, I think, if we're being 100% legit here. We'll bounce back. We should. There is plenty of time, obviously, in this one. The last time we played them, we were in a 15-point hole in the third quarter and were able to win. So I say it every stream, not impressed with CJ. The 4 personals are a bit unacceptable. Some of them have been absolute rubbish. But that being said, he's a professional and he should not be picking up 4 personals in a game where he's proving to be valuable. I mean, he's a plus 12. We'll go back to the box score. He's a plus 12 in a game where basically every net is in... they are. Every net is in the negative except Cam Johnson, who's on 4 fouls and is the equal least minutes of any starter. O'Neal's played more minutes, and look at him, he's a negative 19. So CJ had a really good game last game. It's just a pity that he isn't really... that form hasn't translated on the road. This third quarter, if the Heat play a little bit better, then GG, it's over. I mean, I think it's a given that if any team plays well and they're on the ball, then it's going to be game over. But we've just got to... there's got to be improvements, quite a few. There's just been not too many paint points. There's just been a lot of... I think we need to... we've only scored 52 points. The turnovers are going to be it. We need to defensively lock in, because if we can force those turnovers in the open floor, I think the lead is going to vanish very, very quickly. And for starters, I'll have a sip of water after this explanation. For starters, it's going to start with Nic Claxton playing 30 plus minutes in this game. Like, we cannot afford to have Claxton playing 14 minutes in the split, has Dayron playing 10. Like, in the second half, that's got to be like 18-6, the split. And as far as I'm concerned, Cam Johnson and O'Neal, Cam Johnson's going to need to be as equally disciplined as Claxton was in the previous game, where Claxton was on for personals at halftime as well. So it's going to require a little bit more discipline on the defensive end. It's really that simple. Lonnie Walker only playing 7 minutes. That is criminal, man. That's criminal. Honestly. He hasn't even been that bad. Not a turnover. I mean, he was pretty good in his minutes on the floor. He scored a couple of threes, spaced the floor. So there's a couple things that I'm a little bit critical of, but obviously you can't nail absolutely everything. Second half, though, I mean, they've hit 8 threes of 20. So that needs to be... I mean, in games we win, the 3-point percentage for oppositions is much lower than, when they win games. And this is around the mark. This is around the percentage where teams win, The oppositions we play that win will shoot at about 40% on a nightly basis. So that's the deal. Bam hasn't really done too much. I actually don't mind the performance of us locking down Bam, but Jimmy Butler scoring 16 on 9 shots. He's not usually that efficient. We'll see what we can look at for his last 10 or so games. He was 10 of 14 against Charlotte and scored 32, but before that, in the wins, 19 on 5 of 14, 5 of 13, 9 of 15, so that was in a win against LA, he scored 28. 7 of 11 against Washington, that was a game he played 31 minutes, so... And then the Nets, he had 16 shots, so... 20 points in that game. He's already got 16 here. I don't know what a good total is to hold him to, but we've got to be, we're going to have to be much more switched on. You can see in the games before, 4 of 11, 3 of 11, 6 of 18. So, defensively, we haven't been good enough at all when defending Jimmy Butler. And Duncan Robinson's been pretty good as well, 3 of 7. Kevin Love has also been really good. Stats indicate he hasn't done too much, but he's a plus 13 team high with 4 points, 5 boards, 4 dimes in 10 minutes. And to add, on top of that, he's picked up a couple of charge calls by putting his body on the line. So those are the little intangible team things that are really valuable. And that's given the Heat a couple extra possessions and stunted us. So, it's those little things that can swing the game entirely, because we can take a couple buckets away from the Heat that they probably got from Kevin Love's defensive traits. That cuts them to 56, and we get those 2 buckets if Kevin Love isn't there, and it's 56. So the game could have been tied going into the second half. It's one of those things where, as I said, the little things decide games. So yeah, it's going to be our responsibility in the second half to just be well and truly alert, and just switched on. That is step 1, of course. JB is learning from his mistakes and can think more clearly late in the season. There's a long way to go. There's a lot of players whose performances can fluctuate and matchups change as games go on, but yeah, there's a couple things you look at in the box score minutes-wise and you question how that on earth has happened. Who's on your trade list? Who do you want gone? Good question. That's a really tough one. O'Neal? I think Dinwiddie's going to re-sign, especially with the Ben Simmons uncertainty. You need a little bit of reassurance at the guard spot. And I don't want Dennis Smith Jr. being our backup too, or backup point guard. So I don't really know. I mean, Trendon Watford, the opportunity is there for him to play more minutes, but it's this Royce O'Neal love affair going on with JV. It's absolutely ridiculous. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to drop a like on it and subscribe as well. If you are new, we'll be back at the start of next week, or the end of the week if you're in the US. Sunday afternoon, here in the US. We will be doing Nets Philly. Hopefully I wake up in time. It's a 7 a.m. start time in Australia, so bear with me. And I probably will be half asleep, and I'll have to be quiet to cover that one. But it should be a good game nonetheless, because we stay with the majority of teams we play. The game is restarted, and we are underway for the second half. It is the Heat up by 8, and it was on the back of a nice little 14-0 run. Bridges knocks it out of bounds, so a nice little start there by the Nets. I mean, JV talked about a couple games ago, and I said this pre-game, in order for the Nets to become an optimal defense, they need to start forcing turnovers, and it's hopefully Claxton's rim deterrence that helps that. Here is Claxton on the rebound after a Robinson 3 was off to the right. So a good start. Johnson is starting the half. That is extreme faith by JV. He knocks down the jumper in the mid-range. That's some incredible faith, because CJ's on 4 fouls. Here we go. Bam. The 2 is good. That's a nice little move. And he scores, creating that separation on Claxton. That's his shot. That's Bam's shot. So Bam with 14, and he hasn't really done too much. Like, it hasn't felt that way. Bridges rims out on the 3, and that wasn't a bad shot. The look was there, and it's good that he's taking him, but he doesn't knock it down there. It's going the other way. Bam has been hit with an offensive foul. And it was Claxton with... Well, those two were locked up, and I think it was Bam trying to initiate the contact. He was like locking up Claxton. That's just rubbish. I'm actually happy they've called that, because that was a joke. Dinwiddie just lost the ball, and very, very lucky. Okay, no, never mind. They've just changed the decision. That is absolute... That is ridiculous. I think they changed it from the right decision. And once again, that's not my bias kicking in, as much as it may seem that way. Good extra pass. Bam misses the push shot. Good defense by Clax. Yet again forcing the pass. So Dinwiddie to Bridges. Corner for Finney Smith. That's blocked. And it is Butler. Butler with the block in the corner. So that's quality defensive work there by Jimmy. And those are the kinds of closeouts we need to be seeing from a Nets perspective. When you have a team that's supposed to be priding themselves on defense, we need that sort of intensity. Bridges gets into the paint, missed the shot. Claxton gets the offensive board, and we go again. Dinwiddie will be picked up by Highsmith, and now a switch. Robinson. Johnson is open for 3. He shoots, and he knocks it down. And Johnson scores with quite a bit of attention by Robinson. Bro, what is going on under the basket? That's another foul, and it's on Claxton this time. Bam and Claxton incredibly physical there. That is such an entertaining matchup, because you've got two players that, well, defensively are very, very much on par with each other. So, like, Bam is not going to get anything easy. I will say that. Butler in the post, in the paint. Oh, well done, Doe. Well done. Knocks it off Butler's leg, out of play. And that's a couple good, subtle pieces of work that serve as a reason for optimism in this second half. Good activity. Dinwiddie handling the rock. High screen, Johnson and the switch, who was hit 2 threes. Bridges. Oh, what a pass. Finney Smith the drive and the dunk. Ugh. Excellent ball movement. Mikal with the feed. Whipped it to the corner and found the open man. That's just responsible offensive play. Highsmith. Oh my God, you're kidding me. That's 5. That's 5 personals on Johnson. And given he's hit 2 threes already in this third quarter, you sense that he's a big part of our chances in winning this game today, but he's going to have to go to the bench. So he's just had a really, really hard day at the office. So Lonnie's into the game, and I'm much a fan of this inclusion because even though you're giving up size, you are well and truly bringing in someone of the same offensive capabilities, if not better. So 64-59. First free throws of the half there. The way the Heat. Walker. Backdoor cut by Bridges was on for a moment. Wasn't used. Walker in the mid-range. Oh, that's good. And the offense has started excellently in this second half. I don't think we've missed. If we have, it's been very few and far between. Butler picked up by Finney-Smith. The switch. Mate, bro, this is a joke. You just throw the head back and you get the whistle. It's fucking rubbish. That's another whistle. And Jimmy Butler's going to the line again for an and 1 opportunity. But I think at this stage, the goal has got to be not switching with that matchup. Because Finney-Smith has been holding his own. Finney-Smith has been holding his own for the majority of possessions where Butler is the guy he's picking up. Like we saw it earlier in the quarter where he knocked it off his leg. Finney-Smith, good ball fake, got into the paint. Bridges with a bit of movement, creates the space, and doesn't hit the 3. That's a good contest by Butler. And the Heat will look to increase the margin. Oh my God. Bro. Every possession is a foul. Every possession. That is a joke. Bro, he's going for the ball. I don't even think he touched him. It was incidental contact. How are you calling that? Butler's now picked up by Spencer. Do not let him get into the interior. Claxton's going to arrive for the help. And he blocked it. Excellent help. We called it. We flagged it. And he executed it. It's 66-61. Dinwiddie picks up his dribble and has to give it to Finney-Smith. 12 to shoot. Switch. Dinwiddie's doubled. Got to help him. Doe. Oh my God. Please do something. It's a jump ball. And of course we knock down the 3 after the whistle's blown. It's almost like the referees are well and truly conspiring against us in this one. That could have been a goaltend, I think. Potentially. Did it go off the rim? No. Or it didn't go off the backboard. We've got 1 second to shoot this thing if we win the jump ball. So we're gonna have to be highly efficient with our time if we can. What's going on here? The clock's reset to 14. I don't know what's going on at the moment. If you are enjoying, make sure to drop a like on the stream and subscribe as well. Lowry took a shot to the face there. That was an elbow by Dorian Finney-Smith. So free throws coming up. Nope. I'm mistaken. Why did I say free throws? It's a jump ball. It's going to be Lowry versus Finney-Smith. So you would back Finney-Smith to win it here. Doe will have to knock it over his right. No, his left. It'll go to Walker or Dinwiddie if he wins it. And, oh, for fuck's sake, we had the ball, we lost it, and Robinson's going to pull up and hit the three. That is just... I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. Bridges is fouled and can't get it to go. It's going to be 2 for him. And yeah, Lonnie just lost the ball there. It's pretty tough luck. And he tried to cover the drive, but in the process really backed off Robinson there. And that was a wide open 3-pointer. So not much you can do there. It's going to be 2 shots for Mikal. And the first free throw is good. So we're hanging around. It hasn't really changed margin-wise. The offense has been much improved. Sharp is back in. I don't want to see too many minutes here with Claxton on the bench. Especially with Bam still on the court. I'm not very excited about this. These minutes. Because every time Dayron has gone on, there's been a sizable, performance shift between the 2 lineups. The one with Claxton in it and the one with Dayron in it. So, Lowry to Bam. Butler the screen by Bam. Extra feed. Good cut by Lowry, but he's had to roll it back out to the outside. And now Dayron's picking up Bam. Walker's picking up Butler, who's now going to back Walker down. Sharp. Bam misses the mid-range, and Sharp with a good board. So the Nets can shovel into this lead a little bit. Walker, that was going to be an incredibly tough layup if the foul wasn't called. And we're going to get a timeout. I think the Heat have challenged this. So 69-63 the score. It's going to be free throws after the break, provided the Heat didn't challenge, in which case it'll be a little bit up in the air as to what the call's going to be, or what the outcome's going to be. This is the Heat scoring distribution at the moment. They haven't really changed percentage-wise in this quarter. They've had a few more turnovers to their name, which is good for us. The rebounding, they haven't had an offensive rebound as of yet either, so good signs there. We look at the Nets, the shooting, I don't think it's really improved. We're one of our last 10 from the perimeter, which is just a little bit of an eyesore, if we're being honest. But yeah, CJ with 8. He is on the side with 5 personal fouls in 16 minutes, which is never going to be optimal. Why is it so loud? Where's the volume coming from? There. The ad. Bridges is leading the way, though, with 15. Hang on a second. I need to change the spotlight stats. So, yeah, that's the deal. That is the scoring outlook for the Nets. The turnovers just keep ballooning. We're going to stop that. The assist number's really high for a game like this, which is really good, but we're not nearly getting enough steals as we should. And the 3-pointers probably need to be executed at a much better percentage. Claxton has only played the 18 minutes, which I can't say I'm too happy about. But yeah, overall, I mean, starting unit's been better than the bench. Lonnie Walker's been pretty good off the bench, that being said. So second half, really going to need to knuckle down, get more stops. That's going to be really the number one goal. And I think everything else will just ripple from there. If you are enjoying, you know what to do. Make sure to show your support. Let's get that like counter up, and also make sure to subscribe as well if you are new. We'll be back soon. That's just clearly a foul on DFS. How we're getting a jump ball. He did clean him up, so there was probably a case to be made for the Heat. I can't wait for Ben and Cam Thomas. The team just looks different with those two in the game. I think it was about this stage that Spence started picking up his play last game. That is also 100% correct. Just seeing a stat by the Yes Network, we have the most wide open percentage three, or the highest wide open, wide open three percentage. Oh my god. Free throw is off by Walker. So 6:51 a play. Long way to go. Only a 6-point game. The second is good by Lonnie. Make it 5. And the Heat are, well, in a pretty good spot. They've been leading for nearly the majority of the way since the back end of the first quarter. Butler, the drive on Dinwiddie. The spin, that is a tough move. And Butler was trying to draw a foul again. I see his sneakiness. Bridges on the drive to return the favor. That's off. And a rebound by Highsmith. Miami want to take foul. And I just got a fright because my headset made a sound. I think that says that the battery's low or something. Yeah, the foul was on Doe, but is it a take foul? I'm not sure what the take foul adjudication actually is. They're in the bonus, though. I'm not liking this. Already in the bonus at the 6-minute mark of this quarter. We cannot keep him off the line in this game. A much more equipped team than, the last time we played him. They had Jaquez starting for them. Robinson makes both at the line. So in essence, we were giving up points that we probably... Well, I don't think that was necessary, to be honest. Robinson's already scored 16, so they could have 3 20-point scorers in this one, the way it's really going. Bridges, the high screen by Sharp, gets into the paint, shoots. How is he not fouled there? It's going to be a foul, though, on Dayron under the basket, and that's happened quite a few times today. Right, what is going on? Why the hell? What is it doing? It's playing ads. Playing ads from a separate screen. How does that even work? Walker's open for 3. It's off. And Bam just fumbled it out of bounds. So he had the positioning. Unfortunately, didn't have the... Well, he didn't have the craft. And so the Nets will go again at the 5:57 mark. It was a good look for Lonnie Walker. He was wide open. And I would back him in to knock down that shot more times than the times he misses. Here he is on the drive, and he scores the layup for 2. Bro, it's doing it again. As if, dude. I'm sick of this shit. It keeps playing. Stop. They've called another fucking foul. This is ridiculous. This has never happened before with the ads just automatically playing. So I believe free throws are coming up. Unfortunately, I was too busy looking to see why ads were automatically playing on the ESPN box score. And it's also just playing... It's also just automatically playing the shot clock time. The Heat are at the line again. Newsflash. Jaquez is into the game for Miami. Where's this turnaround gonna arrive? When is this turnaround gonna arrive? And where is it gonna come from? Dayron to the bench. We are playing a really small rotation in this second half. We haven't seen Royce O'Neal minutes yet, which probably is meaning that I'm gonna have to prepare for some clutch O'Neal minutes, which I'm not really looking forward to at all. We got to inbound the ball. We do. Dinwiddie. Where's Watford, man? Dinwiddie for the corner. Walker the drive and is able to get the angle. That's a quality score by Walker off the window. Highsmith to Butler in the post. Like, this is a predictable move. We need the help defense to arrive. Butler shoots the fadeaway too. Like, how is Dinwiddie being found in an isolation with Jimmy Butler? That is never the assignment you want. Where's Dorian Finney-Smith located? I'm actually going to rewind the possession. Well, I can't because the ads are running, but I mean, there's got to be more improvement in trying to work out the matchups there. This doesn't look good. I mean, it's only a 9-point deficit. You can make this up in minutes. We saw in the first half, the Heat were down 6, ended up, leading at the half by 8. So that was over a 3-minute span where they made the move. So this game is well and truly not done. But we're going to need to see some improvements from our big guns. Mikal has only scored 15, and he started the game well, shooting it highly efficiently. I think it was 4-5. He's gone 0-6 since that point. Claxton hasn't scored in the quarter. And really, Cam Johnson, who had scored 2 threes, has gone to the bench. So it's like, well, where are you getting your scoring from? Lonnie Walker's done, well, the best he can to keep the scoring moving, but the 3-point percentage, I mean, that's just indicating that we've really dried up from the perimeter. The turnovers have slowed down, but like Jimmy Butler, there's no answers for him at the moment. He's gotten to the free throw line a ton. He's made 8 of his 12, and he's hit a couple threes. He's been excellent defensively, so he's been a quality player today. I actually cursed us before the game even began because I said Butler hasn't really been all that flashy this season. Like, he hasn't done too much that really is noticeable by the league, but he's quietly performing this season, and he's really performing today. So credit to them because they're getting some really good contribution. The reason they lead, though, is the free throws. You can see they've got a little disparity in the free throws there. They've only made 1 extra 3, and they have only made 1 extra field goal. So that and the turnovers, and probably the offensive rebounds, it's all about fine margins, and that's where they're winning the game. So yeah, that's really what we're dealing with at the moment. We just need to lift, though. There is just not enough being done. Not enough being done by players on the offensive side of the ball, really. So the Nets will resume with possession after that timeout was called. I would assume that was more to sort the defensive side of the game out. O'Neal is in. Claxton doesn't really know what to do because they're playing that zonal scheme. There's an open 3 for Bridges, though. That is shooting practice, and he knocks down the corner tray. An absolutely huge defensive breakdown by the Miami Heat. It's down to 6, and amazingly, we lead in terms of points this quarter. Claxton! Get out of there! Ugh! Go away, bro. This is where the help defense needs to go up a notch. Claxton, I'm calling for you to well and truly assert your dominance here because you're an absolute god defensively. Love will pass out to Jaquez, and now Lowry, they've got 7 to shoot and haven't really done anything in this offensive possession. We're going to see a 3 by Butler. It's off, and a rebound by Walker. That's a great defensive possession by the Nets, or 2 defensive possessions because you count the first as the Claxton block. Dennis to O'Neal. I beg we get a good shot, but of course we have Dennis Smith on the court, so we're sort of screwed. Walker the step back 3. It's off, and a rebound by Love. Bro, that's what happens when you have Dennis Smith Jr. on the floor. Like, you're just killed for offense because he cannot do shit Good steal by Walker. We've got a 3-on-2. Walker, good contest. And there's the foul on the second go. So, great contest by Highsmith on the break. But unfortunately, they didn't have the numbers to be able to follow up and get the defensive rebound. Walker was there for his own miss. And he got fouled by Kyle Lowry. So 2 free throws coming up. Lonnie turning defense into offense. And the first free throw is good. I think a really underrated part of that possession as well is because, it is the fact that he got the steal and he was there to run the break and also get the rebound. So he wasn't really like, oh, my job is done once I've done the defensive side of things. I've got to contribute to my team on the offensive side of the ball. So just like that, the deficit is now cut in half, and we can cut it even further with another good stop here. Butler in a switch. He's got Dennis on him. I hope he shoots another 3. Richardson thought about the 3. He passes to Love. And now Butler in a switch. Claxton picks him up on the perimeter. Good defense. Bro, that is nothing you can do about that. Nothing you can do. Claxton did well to not concede the foul. Butler was trying to draw it. That's just a tough shot. Walker behind the back. That was way too saucy. My God, he had a slither of daylight to get that pass, and he somehow found Claxton under the basket. That's an incredibly good find. And I believe the foul was on Claxton under the basket. There was a little bit of physicality under there. Lonnie Walker also was getting physical with the cameraman. Claxton misses the free throw, and I believe that's his first one of the season that he's missed. So 3 or so minutes to play in this quarter, and it is a 2-possession game. Finney Smith is back in, and I believe O'Neal's gone to the bench. Bridges has also gone to the bench, but he wasn't even on, so I don't know what's going on there. Claxton's missed both, and the second one got an unlucky bounce. Butler picked up by O'Neal. Oh, good move. And the throwdown! Whew. Jesus Christ, he's absolutely annihilated the basket there. Finney Smith to Dennis to O'Neal. The 3, that's off. 100%. Love was looking for a full court feed. He's going to pass it to Butler on the baseline from half court. He backs down O'Neal. Oh my God, bro. What are we doing? Bro. Quality score by Butler, but I continue to not understand this. We have Dorian Finney-Smith on the floor with Kevin Love as their tallest player, and we're deciding to put Royce O'Neal on Jimmy Butler. That Finney-Smith-Butler matchup has worked every single time, or nearly every single time, because of that physical element he poses. What are we doing putting Finney-Smith on the other side of the court? They've got Robinson as their 4. What are you doing putting O'Neal on Butler? That is a wild layup attempt. What is Dennis doing? Oh my God, how's it ended up with Jimmy? Extra feed. Huckers gets it up over 2. And we got a timeout. That's quality minutes by the Heat. But bro, I can't be asked. These O'Neal minutes are fucking trash. Every time. I don't even want to look at the box score for the moment because I'm just going to get livid. Look at this shit, right? We are down 13. And in a game down 13, we have a player who is a negative 23. in 18 minutes, a negative 23. We've got a guy named Trendon Watford who's played 5 minutes. Granted, he's a negative 7. But, bro, what is O'Neal doing? He has not... he's barely scored. And defensively, he's been a traffic cone. Because they've put him on Butler in an isolation nearly every single time. And he's just getting cooked. I'd back Finney Smith to get the job done over O'Neal. So we're in a bad position going into the final quarter. Why do we always get within 5 points and then we lose it again? We can't stay focused. It's not even that. It's just the Heat are playing to their strengths, and we are not making any adjustment in that regard. And we've got Dennis on the floor. That's a 3 by Dennis. He's knocked it down. That is unprecedented. I've just got to talk shit about this team and they'll perform. Every single time I get caught off guard like that. Butler on O'Neal, or picked up by O'Neal. Let's see what he actually does this time. They keep feeding him, and Butler's in ISOs. He's going to cook him again. Love is open for a 3. That's good. So there's the spacing coming in clutch. And we can't even get spacing from our point guard. Dennis, skip past to Finney Smith, is open. He's got to respond, and he knocks it down. So back and forth here. We are in the final minute of this first, oh my God. Another foul. Dennis and Butler have words. He's going to get teed up. Surely. Dennis is very unhappy. And JV's also on the court to ask what's going on here. Yep, he's been teed up. What a surprise. Just get Dennis off, honestly. Diffuse the situation and take him off. He's been fucking trash. Apart from the fact he just scored a 3 a couple possessions ago, he's been trash. There's no answers for Butler at the moment. As far as I'm concerned, we should have played... I don't know why we don't do this more often. We need to correlate the minutes between our best defender and their best offensive player need to correlate with one another. It doesn't make sense. For example, I'm not saying Bridges is the number 1 best matchup for Jimmy Butler, but if that's the matchup you're going to go with, you should have Butler play, or when Butler plays, you have Bridges play the exact same minutes that Butler plays. Because you're probably going to end up playing the same amount of minutes you wanted. It's just going to be allocated a little bit differently. I'm not really sure what Dennis is doing there. That is the dumbest technical I've ever seen someone concede. It's just really uncalled for. It's a 13-point lead. And Dennis, I reckon's got a bit of fire in his belly, but I don't think he's actually going to do anything with that fuel. Sharp on the perimeter. Gets it to Walker. The high screen. No switch, though. It was good defense by the Heat. We don't see that enough by us. Walker into the paint. And that is a tough shot by Lonnie. So, 11-point margin to make up. It would help if we got a stop here early. See, Finney Smith is guarding Love and Sharp is guarding Jaquez, leaving Butler to be picked up by O'Neal. Here we go. Finney Smith on Butler in the switch. Look at that defense, dude! Knocks it out of bounds. They've got 1.3 to shoot, and that's on the back of Finney Smith. It is a no-brainer you put Finney Smith on Butler. I don't get it. The matchup is so shit. Oh my God. That is an absolute stinker. Lonnie with the scores, the shot clock expires, but that is just fucking annoying as fuck. Seriously, they had... like, Dayron just got caught napping on the previous possession. Jaquez, they had 1 second to get a score, and Dayron forgot to actually guard someone. The only place Jaquez is going to be an absolute threat off the inbound is if he's wide open, and Dayron just gave him it. So yeah, that's the quarter done. It's 95-83. We've got a lot of ground to make up, but Lonnie Walker's keeping us within reach. Even though we shipped off 35, Lonnie has scored 21 in the game. Claxton didn't score. Bridges wasn't on for, well, he was on for quite a bit. He's actually played the most minutes of any net. But bro, those O'Neal minutes are pissing me off, man. Negative 22 in 20 minutes. How do you keep backing this guy in? Finney Smith has been really good. So he needs to play at least 33 minutes. Every minute that Butler is on the floor, Finney Smith needs to pick him up. I don't care what anyone says. That aside, like, we haven't really seen minutes from too many others. Dayron's played 14 minutes. I don't want to see him play. I want to see Clax play the final 10 minutes of the game, in all honesty. Butler is carrying them so badly. 34 points in a game. They haven't even scored a ton yet. He could be on for a 50-piece, quite honestly. He's just getting everything he wants, and he's only had the 3 turnovers as well. Like, we've got to have the right player to go on him, and Butler's been in the post quite a lot of the time he has played. Why is this ad still playing? It's just really culminating into a lot of annoyance I'm feeling right now. Like, the amount of post touches Jimmy Butler has gotten should just be an indicator. You put Dorian Finney-Smith there because he is the physical body you need to combat Butler. Butler's just been backing everyone down. He's been getting them under the basket. He's just been getting them right where he wants them, and is just able to score it because we're under the basket. The rim is actually shielding Butler from getting blocked. So it's just a no-brainer. I don't really know why we haven't been as reactive to that as we should have. Alrighty. Final quarter begins, and I have forgotten that there is a quarter to play. And we've scored immediately, and it's Dennis. That's a bit unprecedented. He scores the first bucket of the last quarter. And we're going to need to get as many stops as humanely possible. This season, we haven't allowed an opponent to shoot at least 50% from the field. Tonight, the Heat are shooting at 52%. So in order to win, we're going to need to get under that number. And the pass is thrown out of bounds. It's going to be Nets ball. And Jaquez is in disbelief. I'm pretty sure that one just went out of play off them, but I could be 100% mistaken. So yeah, in order for the Nets to win, they're going to need to get one of those performances. Claxton, the alley-oop jam. Dennis with the feed. More napping by the Heat defensively. That's one thing they haven't been able to combat. And it's going to be the Nets trailing by 8 going into this possession. Claxton picks up Bam. 8 to shoot. They give it to Robinson. Dennis is hit with a brick wall of a screen, and Robinson scores the 3 after Claxton tried the closeout. So that's a good shot made by the Heat. If they miss that, well then a little bit of uncertainty seeps in. Dennis back to Lonnie, who's going to drive. Good bit of acceleration, and he just lost the ball out of bounds. So good defense by Bam. And all Lonnie can do is shake his head. And he's in the shits as well. Understandably so, because that was one that, well, those possessions are vital. The Heat have been scoring really well today, though. They are not historically a good offensive team, and they've already scored 98. So this is frustrating that we've given them such a good offensive performance. Jaquez with the cut. Martin with the driving kick. How is he open again, dude? How many threes are you going to give him? 22 for Robinson. Johnson, who's in the game on 5 fouls, shoots the 2. How is that not a foul on Martin, dude? Bro, that is rubbish if you call that on Claxton. That is a joke. And it's going to be called on Martin. Thank fuck. Because that is ridiculous. And Claxton still hasn't gotten up. Bullshit. It's against Clax. No fucking way if it is. Let's just have a look at the replay. Bro, he's just gone backwards. Claxton is grappling onto him. Oh my god, there's a technical free throw. Are you kidding me? Oh my god. So Claxton pulled him back, but Martin also went back into him first. If I was a player, I would be so fueled up right now. As a fan, I'm in the shits. Bridges just lost the ball, and Jay Rich with the dunk. This is really getting out of hand. Shit. So we got it down to single figures about 2 minutes ago, and since then, it's been a little 8-0 run by the Heat, I believe, that has gotten it out to 17 points. Finney Smith, can he respond for 3? Yes, he can. It is down to 14. We're just going to have to go on a run. Forget the referees. We need to play better. Drive by Richardson. The spin. The bounce pass to Bam. Good defense by Mikal. There's going to need to be help there. Claxton knocks it away. And with 8 to shoot, the Heat will take it in on the sideline. So that's one area that needs to be fixed. The turnovers, man. We have not forced any of those in this game. They got 6 to shoot. Richardson in the mid-range. Bam's going to have to put one up. He does, and he's off. Rebound, Mikal. Oh, there we go. Another alley-oop, and Claxton gets it done. Mikal with the find. That is proving to be an issue for the Heat. I reckon there's been about 4 instances where Claxton's rolled and there's been no rotation. And the alley-oop has always been on offer. Bam's gonna body bump. Oh my fucking god. That is an absolute bruiser of a dunk on Claxton. Oh my goodness. I mean, with all that physicality Bam's got, you would expect him to just take advantage. He did on that occasion. That was an annihilation of a dunk. Claxton may just need to cover himself up. Honestly. I think that guy's just got to stay away from the spotlight because that is brutal. Bro, another thing that would help is free throws. If like Spencer argues for calls some of the time and he can't even make the shot at the line, he's missed a couple today. So 106.92. We've got a long way to go. 13-point deficit now with that make. Dinwiddie splits the pair. And we've got a little bit of blitzing going on, which is interesting. Richardson's going to drive and roll it back out. Martin's open. We need a box out. Doesn't matter because a three's been knocked down by Martin. Are we going to get a timeout? Yes. No? There's a foul somewhere. I don't know what on earth the foul is for. We just don't have any answer for the Heat at the moment. They are on a tear shooting-wise. They cannot miss. We've already conceded 109 points. So that is just really significant in the context of the game, obviously, because you're scoring 109 points to this stage of the game. You're on track for about 130, honestly. And that's really showing how good your offense is on the given day. We're currently down 15 and we've got 8 or so minutes to play. For a team that is supposed to be defensively good, even with Claxton in, we cannot defend this team today. And a team that's not very known for their offensive capabilities. Johnson open for a three after Jay Rich overcommitted. And there's a foul on Richardson. Johnson got hit. He got undercut on that one. It's going to be 3 shots. And that'll be the second time there's a foul from the perimeter today. What? Where was the foul? I actually didn't see the foul there. That's a bit of a phantom call, if I'm honest. I'd say we got away with that, but we move. So a long way to go. 8 minutes to play. And just as the game was getting away from us, we make 3, and that'll cut the deficit down to 12. So obviously in the first half, we saw how quickly the team can go on a 14-0 run. And that's exactly the kind of run we need to make in order to actually win this game. It's a 12-point deficit with 12 minutes to play, or 8 minutes to play, and it's a full court or half court press by CJ there. Forces the pass to Jaquez, and now the switch. Good defense by Finney-Smith. Knocks it away, but Mikal allows the inside pass to Bam, and he knocks it down. That's way too easy again. We've got no center on the floor. What are we doing? Dinwiddie for 3. Why are you shooting that? We need to get back in the game, and you're shooting crap. Martin out to Richardson. Jaquez, good passing around the perimeter. And the reverse. Bro, how is Robinson about that? Are you kidding me? Oh, that's actually a joke. Dinwiddie, the drive, he missed it. He has been fouled by Martin. Let's have a look at the chat, because I imagine it's not going off. But I imagine there's quite a few people that aren't too happy. We're going to get a timeout. Fuck me, 113 points conceded already. Box score check would indicate that we are getting absolutely killed in multiple areas. And they've only got 3 players in double figures, which makes things even more baffling. I mean, look at how they're shooting the ball, especially in this last quarter. We've actually scored 14 points in 5 minutes, which isn't too bad of a pace. That's like a pace of 30 plus in a quarter. The problem is, the Heat have scored 18 already. And their bench has been quality. Their starting lineup's been quality. I mean, they've just about had no weakness today, and they've gotten some really good minutes from their bench. Bam scored 18, and he hasn't really had to do much. Jimmy scored 34 points. That is quality. And Duncan Robinson's hit 6 3-pointers on their way to shooting lights out from the perimeter. They've gotten to the free throw line. Rebounds are dead even, so that's not an argument anymore. The turnovers, we're forced a couple, but not nearly enough that we need to get back into the game. And just there's no answer for them defensively. They are just absolutely spit roasting us. Mikal has not really done anything in the second half, and we needed him to. Dorian Finney-Smith's been pretty efficient from the perimeter, but 11 points isn't going to cut it when you're down 16. We've had 5 players in double figures. Spencer Dinwiddie shooting 3s is uncalled for. This is a game where, I mean, if the shots are falling, then it's good, but I don't want to see him shoot another 3-pointer where he is shooting off the dribble. It is just resulting in, an absolute calamity for this team, if I'm going to be quite honest. So, yeah. If anything, I would actually rather see Lonnie Walker close this one out, because I actually think he has a higher chance of, doing the things that are required of us down the stretch. Mikal's just got a lift, 19 points, only the 12 shots. He hasn't nearly been aggressive enough in the second half, especially. And he hasn't really scored many field goals as well. So, Yeah, we're getting really cooked at this point in time. Um, yeah, it's not a. The result of this game isn't looking too good, but 7 minutes to go. Um, I think my audio just went out. Play resumes. Mikal is fouled, and we have a block. It's going to be 2 shots for Bridges, who is slow to get up. May have been a bit of knee-on-knee contact because Richardson is really, really sore. And he is limping. I need to change the headset. Because this one is no longer working. Yeah, ouch. Bit of knee-on-knee contact. So that's not ever going to be that ideal. Alright, so we got the other headset on. So now it's weird because I can hear myself a little bit better without the noise cancellation. 2 free throws coming up for Mikal. And he's good. So this is going to be one area we can really trim into the deficit with time not on our side. It's going to be getting a ton of these free throws. Walker is back in. Second free throw is good for Mikal. So the 5 on the floor for the Nets is Bridges, Johnson, Dinwiddie, Walker, Finney-Smith. So we're playing small ball. Jaquez is blitzed. Robinson was open momentarily, but he's going to slow things right down. They're going to look for Bam Adebayo, who's picked up by Doe. Whips it across. Corner 3 for Richardson's open. That's off. So that was a good look for the Miami Heat, and we didn't do very well to cover it. Johnson is going to drive baseline, pick up his dribble. He needs help, and Bridges does that. And Mikal wanted a foul. He's not going to get it. And that's really good defensive activity by Jay Rich. Watford is going to not check in. Watford, I don't know why he's taken this long to think about bringing Watford in. Nets blitz again. Pass to Martin. And the scoop is off. Good defense by Finney-Smith. So, oh my God. Walker just fucking fumbled the ball as he was bringing it up. Royce-esque, and Martin's open. That's another 3, and we're very lucky that's off. So they missed their last couple. So they haven't put this game to bed yet. Dinwiddie to the corner for Finney-Smith. Johnson's open for 3, top of the key. It's off, and a rebound for the Heat. So you make that, and it gets very, very interesting. What is going on with this defense? Now we're giving away a ton of open 3s, and they can't hit them. So Bridge is going to drive. The scoop is good, and it's down to 12. So we're going to get a timeout, and the Heat have missed quite a few of their shots as of recently. So we cut this deficit just a little bit at the 5:30 mark. It is 113-101. Let's have a look at the chat. Jimmy Neutron really cooking us, 100%. How does Robinson not get guarded on the perimeter? It's their sharpshooter and he gets all open shots. We don't seem to actually do much to try actually contest and get over the screen. It's baffling. For a team this good defensively, it should not be that easy to get that many open 3s. We had this exact same lineup last year and Mikal dropped 45 points on him. How does it come? He literally is just a bum-ass role player this year. Well, I think it's just he hasn't been aggressive enough and he hasn't gotten enough touches. We haven't played to our strengths today, and I think we needed to have done that more often. Mikal's got 23. He hasn't been absolutely hideous. I wouldn't say he's... Well, I think he's been one of our better players, for sure. Oh my God, every time every time this stupid ass box score keeps playing ads. Ridiculous. Let me change the. I'm just trying to update the thingy. Cam Johnson, 11 points, and the 3 rebounds, 3 assists today. Claxton's been really good, but he's not playing in the closing because I think we want the spacing to try cut into this deficit. 13 turnovers is not good enough, even though 13 is probably around our average. We've had 27 free throws, which is well overs for what we usually produce in that regard. Spencer Dinwiddie hasn't been good enough today, only the 7 points. We needed a bit more from him. Lonnie's been good off the bench. And then for the Heat, 34 from Butler. He hasn't scored this quarter. Robinson, 24, 18 to your boy Bam Adebayo. They've been pretty solid overall. They're shooting 53% and 45% from 3. We have not given away scores at over 50% this season in a game. Well on track for that to occur unless the Heat really dry up offensively down the stretch and we go on a run. It's not out of the question. It's a 12-0 run away from being, within, tying the game up. And, we've seen how quickly that can happen if you're well and truly switched on. What are we doing here? So Watford's in the game with this small ball lineup. We don't have Finney Smith in. Butler's returned. So the minute Butler returns, we put Finney Smith on the bench. I don't get it. Robinson jacks one up. It's off. And the Nets can cut into single figures here. If we make a basket. Watford's a team player, so I'm liking this. Bit of extra facilitation on the floor. Bridges is going to drive on Bam. Lost the ball. Oh my goodness. He nearly got the angle. It was a good spin. Got the scoop up. But I would have liked to have seen a little bit more expansiveness on that offensive possession. Because I don't think it should just be Bridges or bust. We force a miss. Johnson with the stop. Corner 3 for Walker. It's off. And it's going to be Nets ball. So we have had a couple of chances here to get the deficit back down. 4:30 to play. You make a 2 or a 3 here, and it gets very intriguing. Inbound it. Oh my God, Mikal, what are you doing? Oh, they're fucking toying with us. 1-2. Bro, that was saucy, and I can't even sugarcoat over that. I can't glaze over that. Dinwiddie's going to shoot a 3, and he misses. What a fucking surprise. Johnson is there on the second chance, and he knocks it down. So it's down to 11, but it makes you think what could have been if we actually didn't turn it over on the previous possession. So we are looking to double as many players as possible. Butler is going to drive on Walker. And now Bam is going to back down Dinwiddie. We need help. Jaquez passing around the perimeter. Good defense. Jaquez drives. What the fuck was that shot? And the Nets can make a late game run here if we, play efficiently. Bridges is going to drive on Butler, get into the paint, bounce pass to the corner for Walker. The shot is good. It's down to single figures. So we've trimmed the deficit in half, and we're now pressing him full court. Robinson drives, and that's far too easy. I don't really know what the plan was there. If you're going to full court press, you've got to hustle back, and that was a far too easy shot there. Watford gets a rebound after a Mikal miss. He goes baseline, walks the tightrope. He's trying to shake off Bam. Picks up his dribble. Watford's got to get one up. Gets into the paint. Misses. No, he made it. He got the bounce. And good late shot clock offense by Trendon Watford. Richardson's going to bring it past the byline. Oh, nearly turned it over. Butler
will just slow things down. They're up 9. They have no reason to rush things. Watford doubles. Robinson to the corner for Jaquez. It's good. And that's probably going to do it. I mean, if you're going to double... Mate, Miami have just been quality today. Every time we've tried, we've been unsuccessful. Dinwiddie's going to shoot a 3 after getting the long rebound, and he responds. So we hit the 2-minute mark, and we're down 9. I don't know what this full court press is, man, because it's been fucking trash. We should have just picked him up straight up one-on-one, because so many shots we've conceded because we've just been fucking stupid with this. Like, what is this? Another open look for Richardson. This'll ice it. It's off. And Walker was under the basket, having to box out Bam. We had 3 players in there. Surely you have a bigger player that can do the boxing out for you, so Lonnie Walker could actually get that rebound. Like, I don't like the way we've closed this one out, to be honest. So that one was on the floor, so the Heat will hold. Butler. Johnson gets the steal, and we're not looking very urgent here in transition, but Johnson scores for 2. I'm a bit surprised the foul wasn't called. It's a 7-point game. Come on. Butler's doubled. Richardson gets it over. Bam. Out to Richardson. We force a miss and then get a quick make. The game is still well and truly on. Butler just... Bro, what the fuck was that? You need points. Look, I'm a bit confused here because you can score as many points as you like, but if you can't get the stops, it's not going to count for shit. Dinwiddie on the floor was a very strange choice. Bringing Watford in wasn't a bad idea, but I don't know why he's waited till now. And then on top of that, Finney-Smith, you know, going to the bench when you need that physical presence. We've needed it down the stretch here. There's been a couple of situations where, like, in order for that full court press to be effective, like, obviously there's going to be numbers open over the top if you're committing your numbers in the backcourt. You need a physical presence to be able to hold their own under the basket. Too many times it's been like a Dinwiddie or a Johnson. We don't even have Claxton on the court there. So with a minute left, it's a 9-point game. I think it would take an absolute disaster from here in order for the Heat to choke this one. If you are enjoying this stream, though, make sure to show your support and drop a like on it. And subscribe if you are new. We'll be back at the end of the week, start of the next week, for Nets Sixers. That's going to be a really good game. But we'll be doing a little post game here, and then we'll be moving forward yet again. So a loss today would put us at 6-6. The Heat will be 8-4 with a win. That is currently how it's shaping up. So it's going to take an absolute miracle here. We use one of our final 2 timeouts. And Day'Ron Sharp's in, so what are we doing? Why the fuck have we emptied the bench? Dinwiddie's still in. I don't really know what's going on here. Dinwiddie finds Day'Ron, shoots the 2 and scores. He had Walker open. We chewed up a lot of the shot clock there. I'm not really sure what JV is doing with this lineup. That doesn't make any sense. He's kept Dinwiddie in, but he's basically... Well, he hasn't even emptied the bench. He's put in the second stringers. Butler. Jaquez shoots, and he's off. We got to get the board. Go, push it. Walker. Honestly, pull up for 3. Oh my god, he lost the ball. Someone's got to help him. Sharp, what is he doing? What is he doing? Why is he trying to put up a shot? He killed like 15 seconds just to not shoot the ball. What are we doing here? Day'Ron is driving it. What is he doing? I don't really understand what the point of that was. The game was still there. There was a very small minor chance. I don't know what he was doing there. The Heat will win though by 7, and you can't say they didn't deserve it. They basically led since the first quarter, and we never really had an answer. We've conceded 122 points. If you are leaving now, we'll see you in a couple of days' time. But we look at the box score, and you will see a few things that will tell the story. We only lost by 7, but we never really were in the game. You can see for the Nets, we had 6 players in double figures. Bridges and Walker combined for 46. But outside of that, I mean, we scored 115, so scoring wasn't necessarily a huge issue. It was the defensive side of the ball that was really struggling. We conceded 95 in 3 quarters, which is never going to be... it's never going to result in good things. We shot bang average from the field. The 14 turnovers really hurt us. We actually ended up out-rebounding them by 8. We actually had more free throws than them as well. The difference was found in the field goals. They hit 2 more and they hit 1 more 3. They actually also hit 2 more free throws given they took 3 less. That's a bit surprising. But a few big things. The turnovers, we committed way more. I mean, we'll look at the actual team stats here. But you can also see like Royce O'Neal was a fucking he was like a, what was he? -22. Like that is abysmal. For a player playing that many minutes, come on now. But I do want to see a minute allocation that sort of resembles this going forward. With probably Claxton playing over 30, Johnson playing over 30, probably 5 less minutes for Royce. I do want to see Lonnie play as many minutes as he did today because he was very good in those minutes. He probably was one of our better players. But the Heat, I mean, they were a colossus. I mean, Butler scored 36. He didn't really score any in the final quarter. That was left to Bam Adebayo, the role players. Duncan Robinson was excellent for them with 26. They actually were better off with him in the team than Hero the last time we versed him. So, yeah, that's basically the deal. I mean, it's just like we were chasing tail in the final quarter, and it was always going to be difficult to make up. There were a couple opportunities where there were a couple times where the opportunity surfaced and presented itself, but we never really fully were able to get a grasp, and the Heat always had a response in there. So credit to them. They were the better team today, so they deserved to win the game. Ultimately, we look at the stats here, and this is part of the problem. We talked about the other day, points off turnovers were through the roof. Fast break points were through the roof. Steals were through the roof. You look at it today, we only had 5 steals. We only had 16 points off turnovers, and only the 11 fast break points. That was the big issue. The 11 fast break points. Points in the paint, we did a really good job. I mean, that's what Claxton does. He probably limits the points in the paint, and we did a pretty good job of getting in there. But I mean, you're looking at the fouls, and they're pretty much dead even. But like, we committed 3 technicals, which would have potentially come in clutch if we didn't concede those technicals. We could have been within 2 possessions going into the final minute. Final 30 seconds, which, given we had a timeout, there was a chance that we could have perhaps made a longer game out of it. But ultimately, I mean, that 17-point largest lead was always going to be difficult to come back from, given it happened in the final quarter. So, yeah, that's really the deal. That is the first team to score or shoot over 50% from the field. And obviously the scoreline would suggest that they score 122 points in this game, and condemn us to 6-6. We'll just take a quick look at the standings. We're now 9th. The Heat are 3rd. They've been playing pretty well. The East is going to be wide open this year. It's going to be pretty interesting to see what the makeup of the standings at the end of the year is. Because I mean, this year it's unpredictable as hell. So yeah, that is the deal. I mean, we've probably still got a week and a half of Cam Thomas being out of the team, and Ben Simmons is indefinite, of course. Let's have a look at the chat real quick. We lack significant scoring without Cam Thomas, and we miss defense without Ben. I'd say the defense is probably the bigger issue. The scoring wasn't too bad today. Our inability to get a stop killed us tonight. 100% the 3-point shooting in the first 3 quarters for the Heat killed us. Dinwiddie isn't doing anything. Well, he did last game. Obviously, we have pretty short-sighted memory because he scored 29 last game. So he played well and contributed to a win against the number 2 ranked defense. But this game, I mean, that was the experience, ultimately, today. Lonnie Walker should be starting over DFS. I think DFS was really good today. I'm actually pretty annoyed because we were putting Royce O'Neal in isolation possessions. Or when Jimmy Butler was in isolation, Royce O'Neal was the player picking him up. That should have been Dorian Finney-Smith. He defensively was staying with him much better. And in a game where he scored 34, it's pretty unacceptable that we didn't make that adjustment. Why does he play Watford so late? Play him over DFS or Royce? That is something that'll baffle me for, well, until the end of time. I don't know why he's waited till then to bring him in. And, I mean, he contributed to a late game run, so I guess that's something you can sort of extract. Hopefully that's a sign of him getting more minutes, because I don't want to see Royce O'Neal minutes. I really don't. Even though he does some good things, I would much prefer to see Watford have a crack. We need some sort of all-star, all-NBA player who can close games or get us back into games, because Mikal ain't it. He just doesn't have the talent to do that. I mean, I actually think the closing out the game wasn't the problem. I think the actual mid-portion of the game where we needed to stay with the Heat, I think that's where Mikal went missing. He only had 2 field goals from the first quarter onwards. You know, he had 4 field goals made in the first quarter and then made a bit more of a living at the free throw line, but still, like, it's just not good enough from a player that, you know, needs to make a bit more of an offensive leap without Cam Thomas in the team. We got scored on defense today. We looked tentative and confused. I think tentative is a really good word to describe our performance today. I feel like they're a better team without Tyler Hero. Well, in this game, they certainly were, because Robinson didn't really get exploited defensively. And on top of that, offensively, he was a huge plus. 6 threes, shot above 50% from the field. Usually those kinds of players are the ones that are really going to, you know, be the difference. You know, you can always count on, like, your Jimmy Butler, your Bam Adebayo to rock up, but it's going to be like those role players. Can they suit up and will they perform? And Duncan Robinson well and truly lived up to that, that role today. Honestly, our record is pretty good since we had a tough schedule compared to other teams in the East. Well, yeah, we've had a really difficult run to start, and that continues. We will be back for Nets Sixers in a couple of days' time, so make sure to tune in for that. That's going to be an early start. It really shows the Nets when you miss either Thomas or Ben. Missing both puts the pressure on. The run the Heat had at the end of the first half killed us. That ultimately probably is what you put it down to. Because we were up 6, you know, potentially you're going into the break with a lead, and you can really play off of that and the momentum you get. But unfortunately, that 14-0 run the Heat went on to give them an 8-point lead. I mean, that was the last time we had a lead at the back end of the second quarter. So, you know, they never looked back from then. Equally, that could have had a similar impact on us if we were leading going into the break. So that's going to do it. We lose this 1-1, 22-115. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Make sure to drop a like on the way out. We will be back, as I said, in a couple of days' time. But until then, make sure to stay safe. And, well, hopefully, the next time we stream, we get a bit of a better result. But yeah, For now, thank you. We'll see you soon. And bye for now. Have a good one.